All right, well, welcome back, Team ESA. Yeah, that's the name I actually came up with. Team ESA, get it? Yeah. Welcome back. This is Exhaust Sports Auto, Kevin again. Today, as you can see, we have acquired the 2010 Lexus ES350 upon your recommendation from the fans. So, who do we have to thank for this wonderful vehicle? Well, it is none other than Anchor Auto Outlet in Cary, North Carolina. So if you're interested in any of their vehicles, or even this particular one, it's got about, 62,000 miles on it. Well, there you go. Check out their website. I'll leave all their information down in the description box below. And as far as Team ESA goes, what do? We obliterate subscription buttons. We ring all bells. We share. Isn't that what Team ESA does? Yeah? Cool? Okay. Let's just get right into this. A bit of traffic here, but that's fine because this is real life. And this is primarily where you're going to be having a vehicle like this anyway. So this vehicle, the ES350, we're going to start off with this driving segment here. This is a vehicle that many of you have asked for quite some time, but it's been very difficult for me to find it. Simply because, people who own this thing never really give them up. And why is that? Why is there so much interest for this vehicle? Because it's like a Camry, if you will, heavily based upon a Camry/Avalon platform. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. It's one of the few luxury sedans that you can buy and own and not really have to worry about a lot. This is a very traditional Lexus. And, other Lexus vehicles are reliable, like the LS, but as you know, if you've seen my ownership videos with the LS, parts on that thing cost a pretty penny, what I'm saying? Which is why I still recommend getting a warranty on a vehicle like that, and perhaps even a maintenance package. This still has that Lexus kind of reliability, dependability, but parts don't cost a fortune because it's like heavily based upon, those Toyota vehicles I mentioned. Now, is that a bad thing? Absolutely not, because a Camry is actually a vehicle I really enjoy actually. And this vehicle, like the ES, is actually basically that, but perfected. This vehicle gets some flack for being like a front-wheel drive vehicle or whatever. I actually kind of see that as a good thing because this is very versatile. You can use this kind of year long. If you put some snow tires on this thing, you can really kind of just plow through anything with this. So that's kind of the good thing about this. The vehicle, put some specs out there. It's got that traditional kind of 3.5 liter V6 that Lexus is very much known for. Produce about 272 horsepower, 254 pounds-feet of torque. That is on premium fuel. You can expect 19 city, 27 highway. Really actually decent numbers. Actually similar to the Acura TL actually, both of which are front-wheel drive platform vehicles. But this ES, kind of stands for elegant sedan or whatever. So this is supposed to be a very plush vehicle. If you wanted a sportier option from Lexus for a similar price point, you would go for the IS, what I'm saying? But you buy this because you know that this is going to last you. And a lot of people were saying that this is, because I owned an LS, try this out, see how it feels to you. How comfortable is it and all that stuff compared to an LS. I'm going to have this thing on some more choppier pavement soon, but as of right now, I can sense that road noise and wind noise, road noise is about the same as an LS, which is very excellent. Wind noise is slightly higher, 2% higher, but overall not too bad. No real creaks and rattles, and if you hear anything, it's my camera equipment. I have a bunch of stuff in here. A lot of people who are kind of not really a fan of just that LS, all the expensive parts on there, they kind of sway towards this, if I want a, nice, comfortable vehicle, maybe I could just get ES. As of right now, after spending some time in it, that's kind of true, actually. This is a very comfortable vehicle that just glides over the pavement. It's only a tad bit more harsh than an LS, not by much. It's if you've never even driven an LS, you wouldn't even notice it. This is probably, for most people, gonna be one of the most comfortable cars that you've probably ever driven. Probably one of the more quieter ones too. And again, this is just, it's so much better than a Camry, to be honest with you. Even newer ones, because this is just a tad bit more quieter, I feel like. It's not quite as dynamic, and we're gonna test the handling in a bit. Yeah, this thing definitely just picks up and goes for sure. You know, the brakes, you kind of have to get into it a little bit, but like they do offer some very decent stopping power. I believe this vehicle weighs about like 3,500 pounds, so definitely not bad for what this is. Really like the way that the power builds in this thing. I love their 3.5 liter V6 engine. It is very good. It actually sounds pretty decent too. You know, thank God it's not like a 4-cylinder or anything like that. It's a legitimate V6, and this, you know, 272 horsepower. It's more than enough to move this thing around. You know, of course, it's not going to, you know, blast off from a light like the LS will with that 100 extra horsepower that it's got. It's a very enjoyable motor for this size and type of vehicle. It's about 191 inches long, so kind of, yeah, like a mid-sized luxury sedan. But as we're going to see, there's plenty of space in the back seat for me. Decent amount of grip too coming from this thing, and yeah, loving the power out of this thing. It's gonna make a lot of people very happy. And actually, I owned a 2010 TSX, and it's you know, kind of the same kind of price category and kind of the same miles. So what do I think between the two? You know, again, like I mentioned, it's not as dynamic. It's definitely faster than the TSX, but like, you know, this is very much that plush type of sedan. You know, the interior is so plush in here. These seats are so damn comfortable. I like just the leather quality. I believe this is probably like a Napa leather. It's very soft. It's got the wood grain, you know, grip and grain. And like I mentioned, no creaks and rattles. It's just that solid, well-kept, well-built vehicle. And yeah, for 2010, this actually got like a refresh, or I'm sorry, 2009, it got a refresh. You know, the front bumper, the headlights, taillights, all that stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. I will say, now that we're at a stop here, you know, the seating position in this, not my favorite. I like to sit a little bit lower in a vehicle, but again, kind of appropriate for this. You kind of like sit on top of it, and you know, visibility is pretty good for the most part. I would like kind of these side mirrors to be a bit bigger, but for the most part, pretty good, pretty easy car to navigate and drive through traffic. So that's good. To kind of peg it at this light here a little bit, kind of test out that handling. See how this bad boy does. You know, there's you know, a bit of roll in here, but like that roll is kind of what makes this thing so comfortable. You know, again, this vehicle is not at all about the handling, not one bit. It's all about just the plushness of the ride, and there's a bit of torque steer, which I actually kind of like. But yeah, by far my most favorite thing about this vehicle is this engine. It is definitely a true treat to kind of wring it out a little bit, and it's fun to kind of, you know, test the grip of this thing, because it is a front-wheel drive vehicle. It is fun in its own way, to be honest with you, even though driving dynamics is not its priority. But in a world full of idiots where nobody can drive, or where people are constantly just getting in your way, taking advantage of you, the isolation of this vehicle, it provides a very serene experience. It is 95% LS. I'm not going to kid you guys. No, it doesn't quite have like that ballistic speed, and not quite the same level of stability at speeds, because that was just a little bit more of a you know, extended wheelbase vehicle compared to this. But overall, you know, if you're looking at an LS and you're kind of turned off by like the amount of money things cost with that vehicle, I would highly recommend looking into this vehicle. I enjoy driving. I enjoy piloting this thing. It's definitely well worth a look in the used car market for sure. And this is a pretty cool one, you know, in red. You know, it kind of stands out a little bit, kind of gives it an extra bit of flair. So I enjoy that. Now, as for the interior of the ES350, so like I mentioned, solid interior cabin. It's everything about this, you know, it's aged so gracefully. I like the way it's laid out in both outside and in. You know, even the outside of this vehicle, I think, you know, despite it being a 10-year-old vehicle at this point, I think it still looks great. You know, it doesn't look overstated or whatever. If you hate the new Lexus grills, you know, you're obviously going to love this. But more importantly, you know, where you spend the time, you know, you have this nice wood grain, you have the soft leather, as I mentioned, and this particular one does have the navigation package on it. A surprisingly decent audio system for the year. I don't think this has like the Mark Levinson or whatever. It's just kind of a bass audio, but sounds okay, especially for a vehicle of this age. I really don't mind it at all. All right, let me just, you know, push button start this bad boy and See, there you go. There's some gauges right there. Let me just show you something that I really like. Because this vehicle does have this touchscreen right here, because it has the navigation package on it. When you put this bad boy into reverse, nice little backup camera. And these side view mirrors actually go up and down as soon as you put it into reverse. Love that. I love cars that do that. Very awesome feature. Oh, and another thing it's got, see this button right here? Not this one. This one? It's a peasant blocker. By far, for the price point, definitely going to be the most comfortable seats that you're going to get. The vehicle is easy to get in and out of, especially if you're a bit elderly, you're going to, appreciate that for sure. Plenty of rear legroom. Not quite like an LS, but like, dude, for like a mid-size, like luxury sedan, absolutely excellent. Headroom, legroom, phenomenal in all areas. That's not going to be an issue for everyone. I love how it's got the all, one touch up and down window switches. That's superb. Really enjoy that. Got a nice little sunroof up here. So if you enjoy a sunroof, there you go. Cubby space is not too bad either. You have a nice, like, deep kind of storage space in here, similar to like a pickup truck for whatever reason. Got nice little cup holders here. It's kind of like a waterfall of wood is nicely done. Got a little ashtray because, every ES driver has to be a pimp, right? But yeah, no, I like the vibes of this thing. I like the little creature comforts, like the heated and cooled seats, which this vehicle does have. Memory seats up front, actually. And this telescoping steering wheel is also excellent. Everything's kind of electric, motorized in here. So it's a very convenient, comfortable, plush vehicle to just own. I think it's going to be very rewarding for somebody to own. It's just a nice, reliable, solid car that you can trust. It's got prestige. You're going to be taken seriously when you pull up to places. It's just a wonderful little car, and I enjoy piloting this, and I appreciate everyone who recommended me to check this vehicle out. Actually, I've been wanting to check this vehicle out. It's always a vehicle that's kind of, piqued my interest a bit because I knew this vehicle had a lot of potential, and I'm sure people gave it a lot of flack for not being like this super sporty vehicle. I like this kind of plush ride that you can appreciate every day on everyday roads, essentially, with speed limits. And like I mentioned, that V6 is so effortless, so fun to ring out, plenty of balls for the streets. So if you can appreciate that, you can appreciate this car. And with that pretty much concludes this review. I'm trying to keep it a little bit more short and simple for you guys. Most of you guys kind of care about my driving impressions, I guess, so I kind of leave it at that for the most part. I see a lot of you just stop watching after I finish my driving segment, so I'm kind of just blending everything together here. Interior and everything. I mean, interior is classic Lexus. It's held up extremely well. I guess some minor, wrinkles, but to be expected for this year and miles. So definitely check out this vehicle if you get a chance, especially if you're in the market for it and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg. Definitely go ahead and look into getting a 2010 Lexus ES350. Excellent vehicle for sure. And check out Anchor Auto, of course. They're the ones who provided us with this vehicle. So, check out their website. I hope to come here often. They actually have a lot of Lexus vehicles here. So check them out. And thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.